Dear brothers and sisters, this is a homily for Holy Family Sunday within the octave of Christmas. Which family model should we adopt today? Why does the Church propose to us to reflect on the family this Sunday? However, let us keep in mind that this Holy Family is not reduced to the triangular dimension of the Father, the Mother, and the Child as we commonly conceptualize it, but rather in this context, Jesus is the mediator who brings salvation to humanity. First and foremost, why does the Church propose to us to reflect on the family this Sunday? There are two reasons. One, a family is a holy institution that reflects God's love towards us. And secondly, it is in the family that one begins to learn some values that will be useful in life. Reflecting deeply on what is happening in our society today, it is good for the family to stay in love, peace, and unity. Again, there is a great need for a point of reference as a true model for all families. Now, where, how, and which family model should we adopt today? Indeed, the Church proposes to us a model of the Holy Family as the point of reference and imitation. But how is this so, and yet we have so many examples of families in the Old Testament that could be emulated? Let us examine briefly some now. First, the family of Adam and Eve. But then they obeyed the serpent. Therefore, it is not a good model for families. Second, Abel and Cain. But we know that Cain killed his brother Abel. Therefore, it is not a good and best model for families to emulate. Third, the family of Isaac and Rebekah. But for them, there was confusion as regards blessings for the firstborn. Hence, it is not a best model for the families. Fourth, the family of Abraham and Sarah that really believed in God. However, one day, Sarah proposes to Abraham to have a child with one of his female servants called Hagar. Even worse than that, when there was drought and famine, Abraham and Sarah went to Egypt, and Abraham tells Sarah to tell the people in Egypt that he is his brother, so that they may not kill him. Here, Abraham lies. Hence, it is not a best model for the family. We can draw the conclusion and say that only the Holy Family of Joseph, Mary, and Jesus is the best model for all families to imitate, because it is based on love and faith in God at all times. In the Gospel passage today, we find this true model of a good and holy family, which is the family of Joseph, Mary, and Jesus. This holy family respected and followed the Jewish traditions and customs in Israel as regards major feasts. Traditionally, there were 3 times pilgrimage to be made to Jerusalem yearly, more particularly during major feasts. However, for those who lived far away from Jerusalem, they made their pilgrimage once per year, and eventually Joseph and Mary falls in this category. St. Luke, in this Gospel passage, emphasizes the willingness of Joseph and Mary to fulfill what is prescribed in the law of the Lord, and even they personally presented Jesus in the temple when he was 12 years old. They are simply following the Jewish traditions as Hannah did, because she also presented Samuel in the house of the Lord as seen in the first reading. On the other hand, can this Holy Family be taken as a model because they didn't have even neither a house to stay, nor land to cultivate, nor money? But then they qualify to be a real model because they were rich in human values such as kindness, compassion, forgiveness, and love for both God and humanity. And that is what exactly makes a family to coexist in peace. In the perspective of this passage, we can say that a family of today is invited to have the following two characteristics. One, the relationship based on real love. First, in the Old Testament, we find the history of Jacob, who lived with his uncle Laban. When Jacob wanted to marry Rahel, he worked for 7 years, but he was given to marry Leah instead of Rahel. Again, Jacob had to work for another 7 years in order to get married to Rahel. Therefore, in total, Jacob worked for 14 years to get married to Rahel. Indeed, it goes without saying that real love propelled Jacob to be patient and get married to Rahel. The Holy Family that we celebrate today was basically operational because of real love and trust in God. And again, worth noting is that it is not material riches that count in families, but they are just means to live better so as to serve God. Therefore, let us be rich in human values. May God give us grace to have this authentic love in our families today. Second, faith. They trusted in God, respected the traditions by presenting Jesus Christ in the temple. Even though on their return, Jesus remained behind, but luckily he was found in the temple. Today, when we look for our children, our parents, our relatives, our friends, where do we find them? To conclude, year in, year out, the family institution is endangered by many problems such as divorce, come-we-stay marriage, abortion, among many others. We are invited to follow the example of this Holy Family of Joseph, Mary, and Jesus because the family is the first school where one learns human values, experiences love, and care. Let us take care of this important institution in our society. A family that prays together, shares together, and solidly stays together. Amen. Have a blessed Sunday.